Examon is back with the new BT13 version, and I got a couple updates that I want to show you guys with this particular deck, so let's get right into it. Okay, Digi-Egg cards. 4 copies of Digimon from EX3, still the best Digi-Egg card overall, just because it gives you that extra 1000 DP puff all turns when you do end up unsuspending, which happens quite a lot with this particular deck in Examon. That's really what it's all about, and yeah, I think that's just the best egg until we see a newer one later on. Let's move into our rookies. 4 copies of Dracomon from EX3. I think this is still the best searcher for the deck, just because you can also Digivolve for 0 on top of Babydomon, on play, revealing top 4, grabbing yourself an Examon, and a green or blue Digimon card with Dramon in its name, and then placing the back to the bottom in any order. And Herdable is also great, exactly the same as Babydomon, giving you more extra DP buffs, so you can make your top end with Examon even stronger, and it's always just really good, because it makes it difficult for people to overcome it in terms of sheer power alone. And then we got the BT11 Dracomon right here. As much as it's great for blue flare, this is the mainly also for Examon deck, just because it lets you draw a card when you do play a Dramon in its name, and being able to play those Dramons, you can draw more cards, find more pieces, which is really crucial for Examon in particular. And last but not least with its Inheritable is that you can gain a memory when you do play a Digimon with blue flare or Dramon in its name, and you do resolve this quite often because Examon does let you play things, and you can, be a little bit more memory efficient and manage memory much more well with this particular effect too. And then last but not least, we're actually just running all Dracomons because Dracomons just search very nicely for this deck. We have the older one from the ST8 Old Force Digimon starter deck, which has the on play rear top 3, adding 1 Digimon card with Dramon in its name, and then you place the rest to the bottom in any order. And speaking of Dracomons, did you guys know there's actually supposed to be a promo Dracomon being P092 that is supposed to come, which I don't know when, but that Dracomon specifically is actually really strong, really good, because it can help you turbo Digivolve and climb through your stack way quicker than before, so you can get into Examon even faster, and I'm just super excited and looking forward to that as well. And if you're an Examon fan and can't wait to see an updated cover version of that particular build, which I'm definitely looking forward to, then be sure to, subscribe, give this video a like, and it really helps, and stay tuned for that. Okay, level 4s. EX3 Cordramon right here. It has Evade. That's really all it's there for mainly. We're always going to be Digivolving with its black box text anyways to, Digivolve for 2 costs instead of its 3. And yeah, definitely really important because Evade helps you keep your Examon protected. Speaking of another blue Cordramon, this other one from also Starter Deck 8 just gives you draw 2 cards on play, is really what you're looking for. Like I mentioned, draw power, finding pieces is relatively important. So I might even juggle between like 3 and 3 with the other blue one, but overall Evade is definitely more safer to do so, just because it keeps your Examon alive more likely, and you don't have to worry about it. And then speaking of which, we do have a green Cordramon. Very simple. This one's the blocker one. You do want to see this as often as possible as well, because it's the core strategy to help you play defensively and control with your Examon deck in particular. But that's it for level 4s. Now we'll talk about our level 5s, which is going to be very simple, very, very familiar stuff. We got Wingdramon, does exactly the same thing as the blue Cordramon, Evade right here, and as well as the green version of the Groundramon here, which gives the blocker, which does exactly the same thing as the green Cordramon, which we saw earlier. And both this green Groundramon and the blue Wingdramon, which you guys saw earlier, both have that same end of turn DNA effect, and they can be treated as level 6 Digimon for the DNA requirements when you need to go into Examon, skipping the level 6s that you actually need to get into, because those level 6s, you're actually going to be playing it via effects instead. And let's quickly just talk about them right here, where the first one with the blue side of things, 3 copies of Slayer Dramon. This is the more important one and really, really cool, unique effect, because it forces your opponent's Digimon to attack at the start of their main phase, and you can disrupt their plays a lot and really ruin their game plan by doing so. And that's really what this guy is all about. Not only that, it can also unsuspend itself too, to sort of like synergize with your combos. And it's definitely nice because it can be used for offensive applications and defensive applications at the same time. Now, one of my favorite ones right here is also Break Dramon, which is the green one right here. This one is really more to utilize its trashing effect to trash your opponent's security. And if you do take down your opponent's Digimon, that's when it happens. Similar to Slayer Dramon when it comes to suspending effects, but instead of unsuspending itself, Break Digimon suspends one of your opponent's Digimon as well at the same time. So again, giving a lot of control aspect is always really nice when it comes to both these level 6s. Now, that's it for our level 6s, then let's talk about our level 7. Let's begin with the brand new BT13 Examon right here, and just a really cool card in general. Having a new access to another Examon just improves the consistency by a little bit, just because you can play more Examons if you want to and see it a little bit more often than before, which was one of the deck's like previous challenges. Now with the new one, very similar as before, it requires like 2 DNA targets where one needs to be green, one needs to be blue, level 6, but again with the ground Digimon wing Digimon combo, you can kind of like surpass that, which is always nice. It has an on-play when Digivolving effect which suspends one of your opponent's Digimon, and it doesn't unsuspend specifically during the opponent's unsuspend phase. It has the secondary effect of all turns once per turn when this Digimon becomes suspended, you can either unsuspend one of your own Digimon or suspend one of your opponent's Digimon, which of course has a lot of great synergy overall with the entire deck, and it's just kind of nice to get into every now and then. And a one-off tech for this particular guy is just really all you need, just because I still think and believe that the older one is technically still better, just being able to do a lot more things and has a lot more versatility when the whole combos. Because of its when Digivolving, it lets you place one green or blue Digimon card underneath it as a sources, so you can put either Break Digimon or Slayer Digimon and then also play one of them out. Is just really, again, like I call ultra value. So then you set up a strong whiteboard with a full combo out there, and that's the more optimal combo you always want to be getting into. If you don't know what the combo I'm talking about is, don't worry, I'll be showing you guys just in a bit as well. And very versatile with its last effect, where it's very similar to the other Examon which we saw earlier, because your all turns once per turn when this Digimon becomes suspended, you get to unsuspend itself and suspend one of your opponent's Digimon too. And again, you guys can see a lot of that combo going on. Again, really great for both offensive and defensive applications to make attacks and whatnot. But that's it for the Digimon. Let's talk about Tamers. Now, some of you guys may not agree with this, but like I said, searching and consistency is really important with this deck, and I'm playing 4 copies of Davis. Davis can potentially give you 2 hits, 1 blue, 1 green Digimon as your memory tamer. Seeing it, multiple times throughout the course of the game is not too bad. Normally you only need 1, but finding pieces is so crucial. It is very piece reliant. You are building towards all the way from a rookie all the way to a level 7, and you need 2 Digimon at the same time, which is why Davis running it as many as I can is really what I want to go for, mainly for this particular build. But that's it for Tamers. And speaking of searching consistency, and this is the whole reason why I also run 3 copies of the blue memory boost to find more pieces as frequently and as quickly as I can. And that's really what this deck is all about. Finding pieces is core, because you need to get to that combo. If you don't get that combo, it's very difficult to actually achieve a good position and win games too. But nonetheless, really cool new option card right here. Not really new, it came out newly from EX4 Alternative Being, but Heaven's Judgment being a particularly good one to synergize with this deck. Now, it is a yellow option card, but as long as you have a green Digimon or Tamer in play, you get to use it without meeting its color requirements. And by doing so, Examon itself is green, and you get to minus 6,000 DP to one of your opponent's Digimon. And because you have 2 colors usually, you can do a board wipe of 18,000 DP in total, or getting rid of something that's really big, or getting rid of multiple things at the same time is really strong. Really good defensive card for this deck, and yeah, definitely comes in clutch against various matchups. Last but not least, as per usual, it's a blue deck. Ice Wall is just really great for control. Really cool, sweet, neat combo that I'll show you guys as well, and synergizing with Slayer Digimon. So be sure to, keep a lookout on that one. But that's it for the 50 card main deck. As for extra alternative and cards I want to talk about, there's really not a whole lot, but previously I did mention before, and I did try at one point, the whole Imperial Digimon package Dragon mode specifically. You can play as a one-off tech or even just a 2-of, because it helps you go wide and play more bodies is really good for this deck too. Being able to resolve some more on-play effects and set up more blockers and defense, and go offensive with a wide board to make multiple attacks is yeah, definitely a really nice approach. Other than that, Mega Def used to be the other option that I used to run just for like defensive capabilities. It has a bit more synergy when it comes to like the colors, and it costs less memory compared to Heaven's Judgment, but I just think Heaven's Judgment is just way too good, honestly. So yeah, really up to you guys. The last card actually is kind of neat. It's Samada Santi. Just for 1 cost, you get to suspend down one of your opponent's one thing, and then you can control the board even more and stop it from unsuspending as well. And it's just pretty neat to have as a one-off tech if you ever want to put it in too. Okay, combos. Let's focus a bit more on the newer combos with the new BT13 Examon in particular, but the whole game plan in general is to basically, of course, you hatch your egg. When you mulligan and see your hand, you really want to see Dracomon. You're searching pieces. Seeing this is really important because you can Digivolve on some of them, and then for some of them, game, you want a hard play to search. Seeing your Davis is great, seeing blue memory boost is great. Searching, everything is about blue consistency when it comes to searching. Really, really important. So this one's the one that I usually would Digivolve just because it doesn't really give you that on-play effect. These are the ones that you always just want to hard play. Again, like I said, find your pieces to your level 4s, to your level 5s, 6s, and then your Examon. Really, really important. So as you're growing your stack, there's, usually it's ideal to Digivolve in the back. Either to Craniamon, either to the green one or blue one, and raising is a safer way to do it, just so you can sort of make sure it's protected. But if you ever do want to Digivolve outside because your opponent might be trying to chip you away, Digivolving outside is totally fine. You want to be building 2 stacks consecutively, one in the battle area, one in the raising, and once you're ready to go eventually with your level 5s, which would be your Groundramon setup, and also would be your other one, which is your Wingdramon. Now keep in mind, they're very interchangeable. They don't have to be blue and green stack specific. They can, Digivolve on top of each other like this instead, just because it works very nicely synergy with the entire deck and with the black box alternative Digivolving conditions. Anyways, once you got 2 ready, you'll push one out and then you'll Digivolve it. You may pass turn because of it, but as soon as you do the end of turn, you do the end of turn DNA combo, tuck it under one after another, and then right here you have your new Examon right here. Now this is a new Examon, which is nice tech one to get into, so sort of like early control the board a little bit more, and the whole game plan with this one is to control with it, and then eventually you want to build your second stack and your third stack to form into your other Examon. But otherwise, this guy itself should be good enough to sort of hold the fort if you ever need to get into it. That's really there is. But otherwise, ideally, you want to actually go into the older one just because of how good it is. Really fantastic with Groundramon and Wingdramon. They sort of substitute the level 6s. So you're never ever going to be going into your Slayerdramon or your Breakdramon with these effects, when you're building your stack ever, because once you get into Examon's going to put one of them. Ideally, it doesn't really matter because you're going to get both effects no matter what. I slide in Breakdramon right here, and then you get to play Slayerdramon here. That's usually the ideal combo you want to go for. Otherwise, if you go in reverse, Breakdramon suspends your opponent's Digimon, Slayerdramon unsuspends himself, or your own Digimon, whatnot, and sort of go like that. And once you pass your turn to your opponent, you combo, and you just sort of, at the start of the main phase, you force your opponent to attack with their Digimon by suspending Slayerdramon, and then unsuspending it, and they're forced to attack right here. Now you get to use Examon to block, and then you get to unsuspend itself as well, and suspend down one of your opponent's Digimon, taking down one of your opponent's Digimon, trashing their security with Breakdramon's effect, and that's really how you go into this big stack simple turbo combo right here. Now, final really cool combo is, it doesn't really matter which Examon it is, as long as you pass your opponent's turn to 1 by playing Ice Wall, as long as you have like Slayerdramon inheritable or in the board somehow right here. They draw, they hatch, they choose to raise or not. Immediately start a main phase, they're forced to attack, pay 2 memory, passing it back to you, and then you do the same combo. And that combo alone itself, when played at the right time, you can just almost skip your opponent's turn. And that will give you an extra turn, and you can even win games just like that, of how powerful it is. So the Ice Wall combo in particular, which I want to mention and talk about earlier on, is why it's so important to play the Ice Wall at the right times, at the perfect timing. Because if you see this opportunity, it can give you, again, a whole lot of advantage that you can imagine. But anyways, back to mid-game game plan and stuff like that, playing Craniamons to draw more card is always great. Remember, the Dracomon from BT11 can help you gain memory. So if you ever play stuff like that, you get to sort of manipulate the memory gauge a little bit for a better value and whatnot. And it's just very, very simple. Again, this is the whole stack combo. You build into the stack, whether the new or old Examon, you just continue to attack and control the board at the same time, take down your opponent's security bit by bit, and then you win games that way right here. Now, if you want to see even more combos, what you can do with Examon and more in-depth explanations, definitely check out some of these videos right here. Got gameplays, other deck profiles, in-depth guides, and stuff like that too. Definitely watch those. And yeah, as always, thank you guys so much for watching. You guys have a great day, great night, wherever you are. See you in the next video. This is AVAULT, signing out.